What's the most exciting thing about the IPL? Is it the close encounters? Or is it the star power? Or is it the fan fights? For me personally, it's none of these things. It's the IPL auction. There's a lot of fight aggression that's happening in the IPL auction. There's a lot of clueless bidding. There's a lot of, just raising the bids, all those stuffs coming in. Overall, it's pretty entertaining. So it's one of the things I never miss in any of the year happening. So most of the it is just a mini auction, but this time it's a bit different. It's called the mega auction. So this is happening tomorrow at Jeddah. So why is it called mega auction? It's like teams were actually needed to release most of their players, but again 6 retentions were given to each of the teams, which I think is a bit too much. The 4 might have been an ideal one, because the reason being not every team have retained 6, but some of the teams have retained 6 players, 6 their core, which actually significantly reduce the star power for the auction. Like Mumbai, they have retained all the Indian core. So the problem being the star power being reduced, and then some of the unpredictability which is coming has been reduced. But again, there's still a lot of players are coming in, and there's still a lot of star power left. So let's analyze this. For some of the teams, only a limited number of players are needed, but for some of the players, they need to start from the scratch. So let's analyze what each of the teams need, what their retentions are, which players can build the voids that are left behind, and whether will it be completed. So let's analyze each of them, and let's see some of the questions. Let's see if we can answer some of the questions, like who's gonna be the highest bid, who's gonna be the surprising pick, like from 20 base price to crores, who's gonna be that most popular player who's gonna get unsold, and most importantly, why is that auction is happening at Jeddah? It's not like anybody is gonna go watch in person. We are gonna watch on TV anyways. We may not be getting the answers to all these questions, but let's try to answer some, and let's go team wise, and let's get into the analysis. Let's start with Mumbai Indians. So they have retained 5 players: Rohit Sharma, Tilak Verma, Suryakumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, and Jasprit Bumrah. So they have an opener, they have a finisher, they have the mid order, and they have their main fast bowlers. They haven't retained any of the overseas players, so they can actually slot 4 overseas players into that playing 11. So let's see what they are missing. One thing they are missing is the wicket keeper. They don't have a wicket keeper currently, and they don't have any spinner. So these are the current voids. So the first thing they can look on is to have some opener to partner with Rohit Sharma. They have Tilak Verma at 3, they have Suryakumar Yadav at 4, and they have Hardik Pandya at 5 or 6. So their opening slot is missing, and they need a wicket keeper. So a opening wicket keeper batsman will be an ideal pick. It can either be Jos Butler, it can be Quinton de Kock, or it can be Ishan Kishan. So these are the 3 picks they might be aiming for as a wicket keeper opening batsman, and they need a spinner. Again, they can try for overseas spinners, because they have a lot of overseas options remaining within their playing 11. They need someone to partner with Bumrah for the pace. They have Bumrah and Hardik Pandya to bowl, but again Hardik Pandya can be the 5th bowling option. They need a frontline pacer to partner with. I don't think they will go back to Jofra Archer again, considering his injury and everything. So they might be someone else, maybe Kagiso Rabada. Bumrah bowling side by side might be a very good side, and they can aim for a spinner, overseas spinner. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe Keshav Maharaj or someone. They can work on that. Now, other than that, they are very much settled team. Only issue is like their lack of budget, and expect them to pick up Arjun Tendulkar once again. I'm not sure for what. The next team we can check is Sunrisers Hyderabad. They have retained 5 players as well. Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Heinrich Klaasen, and Pat Cummins. Again, their retentions were actually very interesting and a bit opposite to what Mumbai Indians did. It's like a lot of overseas retentions happened here, and there's a lot of budget they have spent as well. But the peaks that were actually very good, the retentions were actually very good, because they were the key players they had last season. So if you look at the lineup again, Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma is definitely opening. So they don't need an opener. They just need a backup opener. And when you got that mid order, that they don't have a number 3 and number 4 at the moment, and they have a Henrik Klassen at 5 and Nidish Kumar Reddy as a floater, and there is a Pat Cummins at 7 or 8. So what they are missing, they need a spinner. That's one thing, and they need one pacer, and they need a mid order. So the problem is like they need to check for Indian players for that. So they have a captain at Pat Cummins, so they don't need to search for a captain, and I think that rules out Shreyas Iyer. So some Indian players, maybe Nitish Rana might be a very good pick at 3 or 4, and that's something they can work on, and maybe they might bring back Rahul Tripathi to their playing, and some paces. Bhubaneswar Kumar might be they might be bringing back, they might be bidding back. I'm not sure they go back to Abdul Samad again because he hasn't been performed much to it. But again, like the Indian players will be that they will be looking for. I think only one overseas slot is remaining in their playing 11. So expect them to pick some fast bowlers because Sunrisers Hyderabad is always fond of fast bowlers. So I'm expecting that. So that's my picks. Another team that actually has 6 retentions is Kolkata Knight Riders. So they have retained Sunil Narine, Andre Russell, Ringu Singh, Ramandeep Singh, which I think is a very good pick, Harshit Rana, and Varun Chakravarti. So they have 6 retentions lined up. 2 of them are overseas. So they need certain things. So let's analyze what they need. So they need an opener. Again, Sunil Narine is I'm not sure. He's not a regular opener. So I don't consider him as an opener at the moment. But he can be slotted into an opener. But again, he need a partner, right? So there's an opening slot that is missing, and there is a wicket keeper slot that is missing. So these two are one of the major holes, and one of the most important holes is like they don't have a captain at the moment. So these 3 they need to address, and the next thing is they need to get to a fast bowler. The thing is like they do have spinners like Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine can handle the spin duties. Andre Russell can handle bowling duty, but 4 over I don't think he'll be suited for that. Harshit Rana is there, and they need to have some experienced fast bowler to partner up with him. So let's look at the options. Mitchell Stark is an option. There is a Kajgisar Obada again an option, and there is a Trent Boult. So these might be the options they might be aiming for in the pace unit. Who can be the captain? They need a wicketkeeper. If a wicketkeeper player can be a captain, they can aim for Joss Butler. But I don't rate the captaining skills of Joss Butler that high. But again, that's an option they can aim for. I'm not sure whether they'll bring back Shreyas Iyer. If they can, that might be a very good option. The issue is with the budget. They have only 51 crore remaining, so I have to handle everything around this. So so maybe Aiden Markram can be a good pick for them for captaincy, or even Kane Williamson. The next team that we can look at is Rajasthan Royals. They have retained 6 players, but there were some questionable decisions regarding their retentions. They have retained Sanju Samson, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, Shimron Hetmeyer, and Sandeep Sharma. These were fine. Then they have retained Dhruv Jurel for 14 crores. I'm not sure why they have retained Dhruv Jurel. Don't get me wrong, Dhruv Jurel is not a very bad player or anything like that. But once they have Sanju Samson as the keeper, is it necessary to have a Dhruv Jurel? He didn't even properly featured in the previous seasons. So I'm not so sure regarding that. That decision. They could have actually retained Yuzvendra Chahal or Ravichandran Ashwin with a lesser budget. So that's one question I have, because now when you look at the team, they do have the opening sorted out. They do have Riyan Parag at 4, they have Dhruv Jurel at 5, and they have Shimron Hetmeyer at 6. They have a bowler at Sandeep Sharma. The thing is only one proper bowler they have in their 6. They need to get 4 more, a minimum of 4 more bowlers. At least one part-time bowling option they have to bring in, and they need to get in spinners as well. One positive thing is they have only written 1 overseas player. They can bring in 3 overseas player. They don't need a captain. They have captain as Sanju Samson. So these are the things they may need to address, because in the number 3 position holds a very good importance they have. They can go for one overseas number 3 slot. I'm not sure exactly who to pick because they can go for someone who can give some reliability because Sanju Samson and Yashasvi Jaiswal actually go for big hits. They can someone who can stand and play the game is what they need at number three. Some anchoring player they need at number three. They can go for overseas. Maybe Ken Williamson, but I'm not so sure as they don't need a captaincy option. They can go for the paces, overseas paces they can aim for. But the budget is only 41 crore and that's something they need to ponder about. So let's see, I'm not sure how they're gonna, address that in the auction. Now let's look at the Chennai Super Kings. They have retained 5 players. Rudraj Gaikwad, Shivam Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, Madisha Padrana and Mahendra Singh Dhoni as the uncapped player. So what do they need? They have Rudraj Gaikwad. I am expecting him to be the captain for the season, and he's the topic as well. So when you look at the line, Rudraj Gaikwad will be opening, and they do have Shivam Dubey as a finisher, Ravindra Jadeja at 7, Mahendra Singh Dhoni maybe 11th this time, I'm not sure, and Madisha Padrana as the lone pacer for that side so far. So who do they need? They need to have a solid mid order. They don't have any mid order currently, and they don't have any pacer other than Madisha Padrana. They have only filled one overseas slot, and there's a lot of slots that are pending. I'm not sure they should be going to any overseas spinners or anything because they do already have Jadeja, and their home ground in Chepauk is actually very fond of spinners. So they might go back to Mitchell Santner maybe, but again, I think they shouldn't. They should go for some off-spin options. And on the other hand, they do need to check for a wicketkeeper as well because MS Dhoni, I'm not sure how long he's gonna play. And again, I'm not sure. I don't think he should be playing this season because he's not contributing anything with the bat. So he's just there as a placeholder, as a wicketkeeper only. So they should, check for someone else as a wicketkeeper option as well to get the back as a batsman as well. Again, I know that MS Dhoni is a brand that actually keeps that team going, but again, they have to move past him at some point. So I think they should have already. Anyways, they need to find a wicketkeeper and they need to find some bowler spaces, preferably overseas, and some mid order. There's nothing there in the mid order. Knowing Fleming, he might be stocking up some Kiwis. Definitely, they might bring back Regin Ravindra or Devon Conway. So that's what I think. The next team is Delhi Capitals. So they have retained 4 players. They have retained Kuldeep Yadav, Akshay Patel, and Tristan Stubbs. And there is a surprise pick that is Abhishek Porel, which I believe is a very good retention. So they have returned Abhishek Porel for 4 crores. So he was very good in limited appearances he got last season. For 4 crore, he is a wicketkeeper as well, so they don't have to ponder about wicket-keeping options now. So let's look at their team. So they have filled Tristan Stubbs as number 3 or 4 for the mid-order, Abhishek Porel as a finisher, and they have Akshay Patel and Kuldeep Yadav as 2 spinners. So what do they need now? They don't have a captain at the moment, so they have to find a captaincy option, and they need to have some top order. They don't have anything at the top order, top 3. They don't have any opener. So there's a lot of covering them to do, and they don't have any paces so far. So these are certain bases they need to cover. I like that auctioneer, that the person who's there in the auction for Delhi Daredevils, that bald guy who's raising the stock always. He might have to pick some players this time and just instead of just increasing the raise. So who can they target? I think they can target Shreyas Iyer because the Ponting has left that the top order, so they can bring back Shreyas Iyer probably. So he might be an ideal pick for the mid order, and I think as a captaincy option as well. So they can bring in 3 more overseas players as well. So opening slots that they can focus. Maybe Jake Fraser might go. They can focus on if Punjab doesn't get them. So I think that's an option. There's a lot of wide variety of options they can focus on because only 4 they have. All the overseas spaces they can focus on any of the overseas spaces, and even the overseas openers mid order, anything they can fit. Actually, there's a whole slot they need to fill up. With the 4, I think the spinners, they don't need any more spinners, but other than that, everything else they need to sort out. Now let's look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore. So they have retained 3 players, Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar and Yash Dayal. Like every other auction, they have just planning everything around Virat Kohli once again. It hasn't brought much success this so far, and I'm not very sure about whether it will bring in again. So they have brought returned Virat Kohli at the top order. They have Rajat Patidar at three, and then a lone pacer at Yastayar. What else they need? They need a captaincy option, they need a wicket keeping option, they need a spinner, and they need a lot of paces. So again, there's a whole lot of team they need to build from the scratch, and they need a captain. Regarding that captain, I think they should go back to Virat Kohli because I think he need to contribute as a captain as well. He should be. I think there's a very good probability that they might be going back to Virat Kohli this season. I think that's the best way forward for the RCB. And again, they need to pick a lot of players. I'm not sure. I don't even know where to start with because best part is they do have a lot of budget. So they may go back to KL Rahul this time because he actually fills the voids as a wicket-keeper option. Might be somewhere in that. I don't think that he should be opening because Virat Kohli and KL Rahul opening may not be giving any fruitful result. You might be seeing LSG 2.0. So that's not something you need to do. You need to have someone explosive at the top. So then that need to be addressed, and I think as a wicketkeeper they should bring back KL Rahul for the mid order. And DK has left, so they need a finisher at the bottom, and they do need spinners and paces. And every paces should be worried because whenever the RCB picks them, they usually gets job to any of the batsmen. So hopefully that's not the case this time. Hopefully something changes for RCB this time. Hopefully they win a cup this time. I'm just being hopeful, but I'm not so sure about it because auction strategy felt so confusing because I'm not really not very convinced with the retentions. Let's look at the Gujarat Titans. So they have retained 5 players: Shubham Gill, Sai Sudarshan, Rashid Khan, Rahul Tewatia, and Shahrukh Khan. So when you look at that option, let's look where they all fit from. So Shubham Gill will be opening Sai Sudarshan at 3. They do have Rahul Tewatia at, I think, I'm not sure, 6 or 7. Shahrukh Khan at 5, maybe Rashid Khan at 7. So the remaining position they need to fill out. So they need to have one opener. They need to have number 4 to be filled, and they don't have any pace bowlers. So these are the major concerned area they need to fill from, and they don't have a wicket keeper. So an opening wicket keeper is something they might be looking for, and they can afford a overseas one as well. So watch out for them, maybe aiming at Quinton de Kock probably, maybe Josh Butler as well. So these two options they might be opening in. Shubham Gill will be captaining, so they don't need a captaincy option, and they can look for overseas paces as well. So when you look at the overseas paces, I think might be one of the most demanding thing this season. So I think it all depends upon the auction dynamics. So when each of the bowlers comes in, and I can exactly point out who they should be targeting. So these are things for Gujarat Titans. So they have Rashid Khan and Rahul Tewatia as the spinners, and they don't have any. I don't think they should be targeting any more spinners. Maybe some Indian local spinners they can target, but other than that, they shouldn't go for anything overseas for the spin slot. They should target overseas paces and as a overseas wicketkeeper opening batsman. These are the two things they should be targeting. And I don't know, like as a Shubham Gill as a leader, I'm not much convinced. So I think they should change, but they are not going to change. They're gonna focus. They're build the franchise over Shubham Gill. Let's see where that takes them. And anyways, let's see in the auction about that. Now let's talk about Lucknow Super Giants. So their team actually they released their previous captain KL Rahul and retained 5 players. So the 5 players are actually Nicholas Puran, Ayush Badoni, Ravi Bishnoi, Mohsin Khan, and Mayank Yadav. So when you look at the team, they have actually retained Nicholas Puran for 21 crores. But I think that's a very good retention because he's the wicket keeper and he can be a potential captaincy option as well. So if they don't get a very good Indian captain in the auction. So on the others like Ayush Badani can be a very good finisher, and then 2 paces they have in Mayank and Mohsin they have actually settled upon 2 paces. They need to get a experienced pacer to complement them and maybe to guide them. So that's one area they might be focusing on the auction, and they might have to look for a spinner all-rounder for number 7 slot. I think that Washington Sundar might be fitting that bill perfectly. What else they need to focus on? They need to get an Indian captain, like I mentioned before. They might be focusing upon Shreyas Iyer to get in the option. So if they get the Shreyas Iyer auction, he will be at number 3, and that will gives a lot of stability to the team. What else they need? They need to get the openers. So they have only filled only one overseas slot so far. They can either look for 2 overseas openers if you get Shreyas Iyer and then overseas pacers. So that might be the way they might be going for. Again, in the auction dynamics, we are not sure. So let's see about how they're going about it. Last team, that is Punjab Kings. Where do I start? They have released, I think, almost all the players except for 2 players, that's Prabsimran Singh and Shashank Singh. So this Prabsimran Singh is he's actually pretty good. He's a wicket keeper. He's an opener. And then there is Shashank Singh, who actually did pretty well last season as a finisher. So these are the 2 options they have, and they have released everything else, including Arshdeep Singh. So they have actually brought in Ricky Ponting as a mentor. You know, like what's gonna happen here, right? So it's Ricky Ponting comes in, and there is a Preeti Zinta's obsession for Australians. So definitely this is gonna turn into an Australian team. And I think there is one other pick. I think it's actually very I'm very much assured of, which is the Rishabh Pant. So there is a very good dynamics between Ponting and Pant, and I'm pretty sure Rishabh Pant will be bought by Punjab Kings. They do have the highest purse, so that might be one way they will be going for Rishabh Pant to the Punjab Kings. And regarding the others, they have 4 overseas slot. It can be anything, right? They can build a team from the scratch. So probably expect a lot of OCs to be picked to Punjab Kings, and I think Rishabh Pant might be the captain for the team once they pick them up. Stranger things have happened, but I'm hoping they may actually pick Steve Smith as well. So that's one way I'm leaning to for regarding the Punjab. Let's see how it goes up. Expect a lot of Australians. That's only I'm gonna say. As an overall, I can see that there is a lot of demand in the pacer area. Overseas pacers area might be a very huge, bids gonna come in. Arshdeep Singh or Shami might be getting a lot of bids, and there is a huge demand for the wicket keepers. Rishabh Pant, I think I'm expecting Rishabh Pant to be the biggest bid for that this mega auction, and other bids as well. Maybe Quinton de Kock, Josh Butler. They're all gonna get a very huge bid because there will be a lot of teams they might be looking for. Then there is a captaincy, options that might be looking for. So these are the ones I think this auction will be focused on. The lesser demand might be for normal batsmen, the top order batsmen who in overseas top order batsmen who won't bowl. These kind of players might be having some difficulty to not getting picked up to getting unsold. I'm expecting Kane Williamson to go unsold, and I think maybe Aidan Markram as well. He might go unsold. So anchor players have a lesser demand, I think, nowadays in T20 cricket. So I think that's it. That's it. My preview for the IPL Mega Auction 2025.